Let's get things going. Yep, that's showing up properly. Let's not much right now. I'm just getting everything sorted so we can. So yeah, how things on your end? Ooh. Do you find something? Uh, anything. If anything happens at this point, would make. Hopefully, we've been moving to. Hopefully, we've fast. Let's take a look at those. They look like. You have a load of options. But let's see. We've got Burka, which looks quite. Oh, it's got the weird like backwards sword. It's got it's got reverse grip. Oh, this one's nice. HG Sazabi. It's nice, like a nice bright color that differentiates it from your other ones. True. Have you got any updates on your computer? I can't see Zybar anywhere. Uh, hopefully our they have things past that. hopefully between our security measure and health costs, the uh, they won't have anything to any to have the, uh, 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 let's mm, uh, 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 mm, let's see. Um, uh, uh, hopefully between our two going really. You just spell Grace and Apple. Frankly, I. Uh, 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 okay. Good. I'm just gonna be making some progress on this. Hopefully, I can get at least halfway through this chapter. Frankly, I doubt it. Uh, um, it's still a little hard to believe just how quickly. Um, even after sending, hold on, left, arrived in 25th. Left Reykjavik here. I believe they arrived in NIOPS on the 23rd, 27th. This was like 3 days before this. They technically arrived in NIOPS on the 20th, I think, or the 19th, either the 20th or the 19th, something around there. Even after spending a week here, is that. But yeah, couple other things I'm thinking of. The main thing I'm looking at right now is how I'm handling the Canopus deal. Because battle glue changes a lot in terms of medicine, right? Because bit selling battle glue means that there is it's a medical product. Canopus basically is the biggest player in the medical industry, like especially internationally. So I feel like they would care more about Bit releasing that. Uh, 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 Yeah, so couple of things. The way I have it planned right now is Jun will um so here's the Canopus thing, right? Canopus doesn't have them as high quality contact. Jun is able to get get a little bit of an in via their knowledge of tissue culturing, and Jun is so the couple of things I was considering, right? Um the first thing that Jun makes before the meeting is they are able to create so this bone glue. I think I was originally going to say that hey, Jun synthesizes like this bone glue that was being used in surgeries before. I think now this just gets replaced with Jun selling the battle glue right off the bat, and the stasis tube thing still happens, right? Where Jun says, "Hey, if you can bring the stasis tube back online, we'll go through with this deal." Jun is definitely like playing Tamara here because Tamara is very much it has like issues with the issue like has like personal issues even if she is a decent um even if she's a decent like statesman or statesperson. um so uh unfortunately Tamara doesn't have much, but Kyla does actually have like some stuff that's told about her where apparently she's got bad personal. Yep. So apparently they've got issues there. I feel like Jun can get away with basically getting her to gamble parts of the um treaty on Jun being able to pull off this, at least to her, risky feat of bringing the stasis tube online. Jun is totally capable of doing this because they have already previously seen the stasis tube that they want to work on, and they're able to bring it back online. So basically, what this means is during the deals, in exchange for Canopus's help, um, they are only giving up these two planets, right? Instead of a much bigger like deal for a more even division of the territory, instead they give up these two planets and like a deep space Jex system, so a deep space station over here in between Thraxa and Islington, so that they have more of this accessible. And yeah. Uh, hmm. Yeah, so currently the thing is Jun, yeah, say with all of this, Revel is still Free Worlds League at the moment, but with this, so on this side of things, um Holdsbow does not take Cercinus, right? Basically, they're of the say they would like Cercinus, perhaps they don't, but what they would like more is closer connections to Vit, because Jun sold them a lot of weapons, and those weapons are doing well. So having Cercinus be say be safer and like not having to deal with any of the dangers of Cercinus. The Duke of Polesbo is fine with that. So all of this space gets subsumed. Most of this space, minus Balaba and Islington, gets consumed because Algenib is really annoying to get to. So there's kind of like um it's only because Jun has the deep space jumps from Marius's tears that, or from actually it's I think it's from Horatius, that would be able to get to Algenib. So they don't bother with that. So they don't bother with Algenib, but they do get these two. Jun does like prevent more of this row from being assimilated by the magistracy. But yeah, magistracy gets these two worlds. Jun gets Niops. Is Stettin a thing at the moment? Stettin is Free Worlds League at the moment. Yeah. Or very recently no longer Free Worlds League. I believe Rebel is pretty much the same situation. Yeah, so these two worlds were both like free worlds. I think all of these are this same situation where it's like these four worlds were Free Worlds League, and I believe Jun is just not going to bother with those. They're just getting Niops, all of this space, all of these, that. Also, New St. Andrews will join with them later because there's going to be the main pirate front for the Victus Coalition is going to be on this side because of all of these independent worlds. Pirates will be using any pirates that escape from the Cercinus Federation and the Marian hegemony will be going over here to hide because there are a lot of independent worlds and that kind of thing. So that's one part of it. For the Taurian Concordat are going to be like keeping away, are not being touched at the moment. That'll be after Jun returns. So yeah, right now I'm focusing on getting the scene with Astro Cassidy. Wait. So it's going to be mentioned later in this chapter. But the Free Worlds League is going to succeed, kind of. Right? The way they're succeeding is... Hey, Koba. But yeah, the way the Free Worlds League is going to succeed is they are going to combine Jun's mirror-based system for longer range targeting. And they're going to be using more powerful laser elements. That's good to hear. They're going to be using more powerful laser elements, I believe is what I mentioned, in order to do better damage, better damage close up, right? They're not going to be able to match the L2 enhanced stuff, but they are still going to be able to do, like a decent range while still doing large laser scales of damage. They're going to be where did I say here? Free Worlds League. Turret. Yeah. So the Free Worlds League version is going to be called Heavy Laser Turret. It's going to have better rate of fire, but worse tracking. And it's going to have it's going to have like fewer, more powerful lasers, which means they're slightly more efficient. But again, it's nothing compared to L2 grade lasers. and it's significantly more expensive because it does use those higher end lasers, right? Even after spending the over, actually, this needs to get extended slightly. Correct this. No, the ALATs, the original ALATs predate Jun's resin technology, right? Those, so Gen 1 ALATs use basically a water cooling system behind the mirrors, keep them from overheating, right? They basically allow for, they use water coolers to keep it, to manage the heat, and they use basically, and the way they get away with that is they have a large support structure that's like spread out to radiate the heat effectively. Um, what do you call it? The Free Worlds League system does something similar, where they also just use cooling on the mirrors, and does have so that's part of what let's that and so the main benefits they're getting is that they're using larger laser elements, rather say like more powerful laser elements, right? They're using, instead of, so Jun, I believe, based the ALAT system on a collection of medium laser elements or something along those lines. Or like, I don't know, I believe Jun based the original ALAT on like off-the-shelf large laser elements. The Free World League version uses custom extra large laser elements that are therefore more efficient because they're dedicated like lasing elements for this device. But they are yeah, that's basically it, right? Instead of Jun, who basically created it based on large lasers and then never updated the technology because any upgrade to the technology would be worse than just using liquid light. So, yeah. I think part of the whole thing is that Jun has kind of, with the reveal of liquid light technology in the during the war, Jun is slowly getting ready to start revealing liquid light technology on a more broad scale, right? Maybe not completely, but definitely in some sense. So I'm thinking Jun creates like a liquid light resin polymer chunk that stabilizes liquid light by subjecting it to strong localized magnetic forces or something. And actually, I think I do have an idea for how liquid light is affected by compression. Right? So, I think that if you compress liquid light, the interact, say it is like, that's like one of the ways you store it, right? Because vaporizing liquid light and like distributing it into a fog is one of the fastest ways to destabilize liquid light because you're optimizing for a surface area. So I think if you compress liquid light, it stores better. So the way I think it works is that Jun creates liquid like these liquid light charges that Jun sells as ammo um for like L2 and L2 related technologies that they sell so that it stores decently well and so that it um nobody has the equipment necessary to make liquid light in the amounts that would be really really dangerous. So yeah. Uh, 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 mm, unfortunately the right to this okay, so this is them arriving in the system before um so it's like 3 days after this. So it's the 19th when they arrive in Niops. You're not spending over a week here. Mm. Uh, 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 um, you're still so ahead of they're doing this speed. Uh, so it would have been 1, 2. So if we do jump route to from Reykjavik to to Canopus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. If so technically they are like somewhere along this way. There's 3 jumps. Let's see. I believe I Uh, Look, this is the problem with jump drives that just exists in BattleTech, which is the idea that jump drives, like based on the calculations, jump drives use stupidly little power, right? If you actually do the calculations for how big the jump sail is and how much power it must be getting from the fusion reactor, right? So, no, from the say how much power those sails are generating at a distance of 10 AU, it is like pathetically small. It's like in the megawatts small, right? Even at a kilometer radius jump sail. So if we do, how much energy is needed for a jump battle tech? Let's hope someone's actually done the math. Um. So. So yeah, supposedly. So from what, based on like a bunch of stuff that's come out, based on a bunch of stuff that you kind of work through, um, uh, uh, but yeah, basically the way it kind of works out is that, yeah, basically the way it kind of ends up working out is that, the way it kind of works out is that the lithium fusion batteries have nothing to do with providing more power to the jump drives. At least that's the way I read it. Like for jump mechanics to make sense, um, for jump mechanics to make sense, BattleTech can't. I'll say for the jump mechanics to make sense, you can't make the assumption that FTL drives that the okay. Let me think. Pause for a second. Okay. For jump mechanics to make sense, you can't assume that this is a simple problem of giving the jump core more power, right? Like, sure, recharging it is fine, which is why I have, um, which is why I have, the idea that Jun is just able to recharge the jump cores immediately from the fusion engines because they've developed this improved heat management system, right? What I think the lithium fusion batteries do is it's less that they store a lot of power and more that they improve power delivery. And the other thing is that they somehow help manage short-term it's a short-term jump, you like repeated jumping, right? So the way I read it is less that it is an entirely, say it is a power delivery system. It's more like a secondary jump initiation. Because the way jump drives are described is you have the KF core, which is this big hunk of germanium that that's like specially formed in order to act as the, like, to propagate the jump field to cover the entire ship. And then you have the jump initiator, which is this more complex device that is doing that. I think that the lithium fusion battery is closer to being a second jump initiator than it is to being just a battery. That's the way I read it. Yeah, that is a pathetically tiny amount of energy. Think about it. You can buy megawatts. So you can like let me buy look up a diesel generator, right? Diesel generator. If I go into shopping, whatever. This is a 60. This is a 6 kilowatt diesel generator, and it's one of those tiny ass things that you can cart around, like that you can just like cart around. So if I actually let me pull that up, right? So this is what do you call it? 6 kilowatts. So two of these, no, hold on, four of these tiny man-portable generators would be able to do more than the 1.3 kilometer solar sail. This is a tiny thing. So jump cores obviously don't take that much power. So the lithium fusion battery must do something else. And in my opinion, I believe that something else is basically act as a second initiator for the jump core. And that allows you to take some of the load off of anyways. We've already covered that. Yeah. Now the thing is, um, I doubt it. But yeah. Like, it's either a separate initiator entirely, or it's a different set of power delivery equipment and, like, all sorts of different systems that are basically acting as a separate system for all that. Uh, we're not going. Uh, yeah. Um, maybe, but once we start allowing traders to our system, going on. Uh, uh, kind of like Jun can create Jun could create systems that would allow light to be more directly interacted with, right? Basically making it into uh, uh making a system so that the any light that impacts the surface of the ship would be treated more as like a charged particle or something, and at that point you could use like electrodynamic armor in order to better reflect it, but like as a gravitational effect, not really. So I guess you could use like Higgs field, like a combined Higgs field plus Apex situation where you are using the Higgs field, like using the Apex situation to turn the incoming light into charged particles, and then just uh like you turn into charged particles and then send momentum into the light, maybe, and then like deflect it that way. I don't know. Uh, 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 yeah, that would work. But honestly, they already have barrier generators that do all of that. Barrier generators do work on lasers. They work on lasers and they work on normal matter. So I'm not sure what the benefit of a secondary energy field would be when you already have an energy shield. That makes some longer term thinking. Okay. Um, Once the war is over, and we need to actually get the whole, let's say, make the actually uh, deal with the mostly thinking how we are going to manage things. What's the war is. Here about doing things with Trump. We have a few now. If we can't hide, if we can't hide our technology, so try and take on. Yes, but the thing is, no, that's not how it works. Because the Higgs field systems would still take energy to redirect the incoming blast. The fact that it's redirecting it, like it's not a passive redirection. Well, it is passive in that you're not doing anything special to the lasers that come in. But like you're still applying a force, and that energy comes from somewhere. If this was like a pure gravity system, which is separate from Higgs field tech, then maybe you could do something along those lines where you're like creating specialized gravity formations that redirect light around you. But then that would mean that you would have to have like some kind of sensors that could see out of that space, and yeah. Uh, Uh, hmm. It depends on the size of the barrier generator, because at the end of the day, the barrier generator does have its own throughput limit. Um, the city scale one that Jun has over Vit would be has over the Vit compounds would be able to basically face tank a nuke, but like it would be able to handle like a small asteroid impact. Let's put it that way. So like it wouldn't be able to handle sustained bombardment, but it would definitely be able to handle like a 1 gigaton blast. Uh, powerful. Uh, I guess yeah, I guess it would be able to take one gigaton blast before frying itself. So let's put it that way. Mm, asteroid impact by. Uh, how? Uh, so yeah, definitely not like an asteroid killing thing, but could definitely handle like uh, what was the what's the name of that weird explosion? Uh, Mystery explosion. Siberia. Tunguska event. 3 and 50 event. Yeah, so. Mm, I guess instead of a gigaton, it would be like 100 megatons. Uh, yes, what is your question? Mm, What kind of noodles? And what is your what is say? Are you talking about through holes, or are you talking about blind holes? And what is your size cutoff limit for a hole? So, assuming that you're talking about macaroni style noodles that do indeed have a hole, and you say that the hole has to be larger, so that it is a through hole, and it has to be larger than 1 micron. The answer is it has one hole. Humans have 7, by the way. Uh, uh, try making. Uh, uh, I've got, uh, high priority delivery. Boss, cargo. Fast cargo um, would be a good way to ratio. That feels like it's pretty well balanced for how it would fit in the story. Yep. But yeah, I'm currently trying to think about how what Comstar is going to be doing. I think Comstar is like, I believe currently the worst of Comstar is not at play, right? What's her face? What's her face isn't going to be in power until like 3025 anyways. So I think she's still working her way up the ranks. Um, so I think right now Comstar might be spooked by um the New Orleans and the consistent defense against the assassination, and like how well Vit and like how well Vit has come out of the war. So I'm thinking the next big move. I think there's going to be another assassination attempt, maybe on Canopus. But other than that, I don't think they're gonna make any big moves until Jun returns from, like, until the attack on the neutrino detector. Uh, uh, ingratiate ourselves to other. Racing. We would need a lot more consumption before we have the excess. Uh, uh, So I do have some things like that. I'm almost certain that I have I believe it'll be under stuff for that. Panacea, the Philosopher's Stone, Grimoire from Holgate, Deep Space, Telemetry, Fire, Pathogen, Contours, Container. Okay. Do I not have the superconductor? Or... Oh yeah, polycrystalline hypercomposites. What it is. So that's there. I might break out a couple of smaller ones that are like better than this, but limited to one thing or the other. So that might be a good thing to add for stuff. Let's take a look at the perk ideas sheet. Chemistry. What do I have here? So if I do a drop this over here, we have grab this. Alt X. So general is 1. That's 2. Physics is 1. And that falls under material science, right? Like how you would use it. So physics. This one is another general. 2 more generals. That's 5. Planar is 1. Stuff is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Marshall is 1. That should be Marshall. Magic is 1. Psionics is 1. Spiritual is 1. Eldritch is 1. Another stuff. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Another physics. That's an alchemy. That's another stuff. Another stuff. That's a general. That's okay. So I need to add at least a powers. I'll have to take a look at that. But like a lot of what carbon nanotubes can be used for gets a little bit overblown. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. But yeah, that's where we're at with this. I need at least one power. I think I don't want to do any more stuff for this section. I think I had an idea for a perk, but then I forgot what it was. It was a magic thing. It was... Okay, let me take a look at the magic perks. Ooh, I have an idea for a backup perk. Say for a power. Backup. Power. You can create an instate. Addition to body that your mind and will transfer in. Should you ever do ever? Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. I already have it open on the other window, on the other screen. Die for any reason. Should you die or risk a rip? You can create an additional body and split off. You can form a connection between your mind and soul, between your essence and compatible. Should you... It's more like the clone spell from D&D, if you know what that is. Should you ever suffer enough damage to destroy your original body or break the link as to your soul, you will immediately transfer other. I'm slightly nerfing this because should I? Is there already a body? Yeah, I'm nerfing it slightly in that you don't just automatically get the vessel. You need to actually make it. But the transfer is the important part, and that's going to be fiat backed for this. I know I had like a spell that I want to say, a magical ability that I wanted to give it. Oh, that's right. Arcane magic. You know how to create, how to encode, how to encode complex and capabilities in magic construct, allowing the near perfect replication of that desired set of without a soul, these intelligences do not change over. They do not learn, but can perfectly replicate the even the mental image. Mental change a program. You know the way I personally defeat the wish simulacrum loop? Like as a DM, the way I would do the wish simulacrum is I would say, well, the toll that wish applies to your magic applies to your soul, and your simulacrum shares your soul. Therefore, any wishes cast by a simulacrum of you still could ban every version of you from using wish. Uh, 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 mm, uh, depending on cycle, we can get away with little as it doesn't for territory. Dozen is still twice as many. Is even assuming we manage to capture. Hmm. Hmm. Uh, 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 Grace, let's assume we managed to capture another. Capture every known ship bearing. Uh, what was the loops that I was looking at? The loops I was looking at was hate Windows so much. Okay, so we were going to do there. June is basically getting all of the Surcinus Federation. These two worlds are not happening, so it would have to be this is a route. This is a loop. That's a loop. That's a loop. That's a loop. That's a loop. So that's a section. That's a segment. That's a segment. That's a segment. Uh, one, two, three, four. 14. A jump shot. A bearing. Or flag. That would still put us short. That as long, assuming we upgrade with hot drop. Oh. Even assuming we manage to capture every node chip, just mention that would severely limit. with the current with current gen- hmm. I've never really had that problem, but the way that I think I would handle it is by basically treating murder hobo-ness as villain points, and basically saying, hey, if you say as you continue to act more murder hobo-y, the survivors of your rampages will start like placing a bounty on your head, and other PC groups will start targeting you, right? So, I mean, that might encourage murder hobo-ness as they try and increase the bounty on their heads. But like, if the bounty on your heads is like 100 gold, then you start getting like maybe one level 5 PC, or like maybe a few level 1 PC that come to you as a group. Then if your bounty gets up to like 500 GP, that goes from one level 5 PC to a team of level 5 PC. And then if you get like 1,000, then suddenly you're handling level 10 PCs that are coming after you. And perhaps they have magical items of their own or whatever else. And but we've seen but the data we're getting suggests that most of my my understanding more or less in line where it will. I should be able to create some designs for jump. Once we at that even hot drives will be for us. Even hot drives be relatively and something and lease. You really think that's Uh, that makes sense. Basically, you're adjusting your gameplay to make it like more of an evil campaign instead of a good campaign. Uh, 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 do you really think that's something we can work on? Uh, that can make fire. Uh, uh, nope. Assuming you have a legitimate use for it, definitely not. Um, Rapid prototyping. If you're doing cosplay, um, if you're doing what else? if you're doing like any sort of electronics projects, if you're doing uh, basically any sort of maker project, if you're doing like if you're doing like repairs and stuff, like if you work at a repair shop, you can 3D print small parts fairly easily. Or if you're doing like organization and shit, if you're like if you have a business where you sell 3D printed stuff. Mm, um, I think there's enough here to put together something approaching uh, there's enough here to calculate field beyond. I'm I still need to do a lot of work, but it's looking more and more probable as things. No. Um. He couldn't. That my. Cool. That might be the case with current, uh, but looking into a few options that could massively, that could, but we, uh, perhaps, it, mm, mm, It would have to wait a little bit, depending. Uh, 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 let's see. Hmm. Uh, it would have to wait a little. Uh, hmm. Uh, it's really so I'm making some suggestions. We wouldn't need all 14 initially. Um, since cost, since the recovery. So gross. Our internal. Uh, sure. That for now. But once we start, we'll I'm taking away something offered before. Would be more. That is all. That is also a great inducement. Something we have. Sorry. So that's fine for now. But once you start recovering, you'll need all of. You will need all of it. Taking. Stupid. Make them angry. Always. Maybe. No, I don't think we touched that just now. Maybe. Depends. Damn. Yep. Yikes. Yep. um, copy down. So So things are looking. Uh, no, not with their current tech level. The problem with um the problem with space elevators has nothing to do with lift capacity. It's about having a material that is strong enough to anchor, say strong enough yet light enough to create a structure like that. And then also survive um things like the atmospheric drag and all that stuff. Hmm. Yeah, but the lift capacity is not the problem with orbital elevator, like a space elevator. A space elevator needs the main problem for space elevator is the material science challenges, right? Creating something that's light enough and also strong, has enough tensile strength, and also can handle the immense wear and all of the other stuff. Hmm. Four. I better. Yeah. Uh. Uh. Mm. Get back. Oh. So the next step is seven. So can it was easy. It's, the art but planet reminded of the buildings were well, they were mostly um, It depends on what the length of time. So it depends on A, the lifespan of your space elevator or your jump ships. B, the amount of throughput you're doing, right? If your planet can actually make enough material that you need more than 1,000 drop ships of throughput, and you have like enough jump ships to move that much material as well. At that scale, like what do you call it? Um, a space elevator would definitely reduce the costs of lifting that much material into the sky, right? Even if you had like 1,000 drop ships that can lift 60,000 tons, or I believe if you want to look at union numbers, there is a cargo union. Union. Oh, the cargo union, I believe, is listed as doing 1,500 tons. So if you could make 1,000 dropships and they could do they would be able to do about 1.5 million tons of cargo space per dropship cycle, right? That would take a lot of fuel and everything else. In theory, a space elevator should be able to do more throughput, but it depends on, are you able to actually use that throughput, right? Because the real limitation on interstellar trade is not the dropships. It is not orbital lift capacity. It is jump capacity for traveling between systems. Uh, so yeah. Uh, 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 but they were so out. They jutted out of the fluid spikes. Yes, if Jun found a way to do portals. Uh, Olive, uh, God, um, I have. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to think of it though. Um, uh, perhaps. Honestly, what I would be more interested in seeing is like a full-on reboot where they just like do an alternate timeline where the Stargate was like covered somewhere, so it was like discovered in the modern era or something, or perhaps it's like a different timeline of it all. I don't think like it's like a full new cast. It's a full from beginnings approach to it all, something like that. I feel like a more technological, like a more. I feel like a more sci-fi instead of military sci-fi would be interesting to see with Stargate. Uh, uh, oh, maybe, yeah. Well, Once they arrive, the rest, uh, for for uh, the common plus the pair of Orion. Yeah. Mm, uh, the interior of the build. Reason was Hmm. Freezing washed over them as they enter. Oh, the deep rich, rich, uh, not yet. I mean, they rolled the one that I already showed you previously, which is the battle glue. But other than that, I mean, if you count certs as achievements, I just did my CompTIA sec pass. So and you're I just lost the game. Okay, no, this is not the right thing. Let's try and break this down into parts. So, arrive on Ooh. Hmm. I guess so. Looks. Ravenous say, meet with the. Let's say meet with the diplomatic. Let's say diplomat. Tour to the palace. Meet the palace. Some discussion. Gift of the purifier. Some they leave the behind. Plan trip for next. Okay. Okay, I'm wrapping up now, mainly because my brain is fried and it's obvious that I won't be able to get much done. It's a shame. Yes, yes.